Pete's Pigskin Previews spotlighting 80 area high schools from 6-man to 6A as we get ready for the high school football season. Pete's Pigskin Previews are brought to you by Wayland Baptist University and Raider Pump and Supply.
All right, Coach, first remind us how Borden County finished up last year.
It ended up 6-4, which was nice to have a winning record, but for the first time in 15 years, we missed the playoffs. We finished 2-2 in district, lost a tough game to Garden City. Actually, it was a 36-30 game right before half, and then it just went south in a hurry, and they beat us to open up district play. And then after winning a game, we had a chance hosting Rankin, and actually was a 1-touchdown game for a good portion of it. It was the only time the entire season last year that we had everybody in uniform that was in uniform day one of practice. Not all healthy, but at least they were in uniform. And we did that for 3 quarters, but competed well, but came up on the wrong side of it and gave us that second loss. And that ultimately, with a game to go in district, we were eliminated for the first time in a while. So we were, happy with the 6-4, but, obviously disappointed that in a tough district, we weren't able to get into those top 2 spots.
Well, what's the attitude going into this year and trying to get back into the postseason?
Well, we returned a good portion of that team. We had 2 kids graduate. One of them was coming off of an ACL tear. And actually, when we finally, he gave us the green light to play some defense, we got a lot better. He played the last 3 games on defense, and it made us a lot better. But he graduated, and another kid that had never played decided to play as a senior. We called him Big Mike. He was a large human, did some good things for us. He just a big old teddy bear that was fun to have around. So we lost those 2 and then had everybody else back, but then had a kid move to Lubbock Christian. So he started on both sides of the ball. So, lost 2 that played quite a bit of time for us, but, get everything else back. And so optimism is that, as high that we can be competitive, but the district didn't change, so that doesn't bode well as far as, knowing that you're going to be more successful, because we could go 6-4 again and finish 2-2, 1-3 in district play because our district's so tough. So, obviously, yes, we're excited and feel like we could be better, but with all that returning, but still so much that we've got to do to get better.
Talk about your non-district schedule.
We're going to, after scrimmaging Hermley and Westbrook, we're going to open up again with Kingdom Prep over at Jayton. Kingdom Prep, Coach does a tremendous job with them. And I know they got a really good quarterback, and that's what he kind of specializes in. But then we're going to do something we haven't done in a while. We're going to play a few home games. We're going to go back to back home games with Meadow coming to us that second week, then Claude, and that's going to be a special one. They're helping us out. We've got a bunch of kids going to a women's conference, and so Claude was willing to help us out in that, because a lot of them are cheerleaders and things like that. So they're going to come to us, and we're going to play a triple header with a junior high JV and varsity game on Thursday at our place, which is just a credit to them to allow us to do that. And then for homecoming, we're going to host Amarillo San Jacinto, and then we'll go to Highland, a very good football team. And then we'll finish our non-district by playing the state runner-up Abbott again. And we're going to go to Gordon. This is actually giving Gordon a quick scouting report of the team that knocked them out last year. And it could very well be Gordon and Abbott playing to go to state in that east side, So kind of a mixture of teams that we have in that non-conference schedule, but feel good about what it is and what it'll do for us. And hopefully, I know I said we got a lot coming back, but we've got a lot of young ones that potentially could help us as well. So we'll kind of see how the season progresses.
And then, Coach, probably one of the toughest districts in 6-man. Talk about that.
Yeah, again, it's, Garden City did graduate a lot, but Coach Jones over there, man, he's a coaching dude, and he does some really neat stuff. He got into the game, kind of did some things, and then he kind of went to the other Coach Jones, talked to him, and he kind of took that offense and he's made a little bit of it of his own. And it's you can ask Bub, it's a challenge to prepare for. So Garden City will be really tough, even though they graduated a lot. They were still really good. Had a great JV and some nice eighth graders coming up that'll help immediately. Then Ty Keith over at Sands, he's all he's ever done is win. And they took some steps forward last year and got some good kids. Had a couple of kids that were ineligible that'll be eligible this year because of transfer rules. So they're going to be better. And then, of course, Rankin, they did graduate a couple, but they still got the state champion 400 kid that was their starting tailback last year. They're going to have to find a quarterback, but I know their JV quarterback was really good. Got some good speed. That was playing in when they played Garden City, I think they were playing their fourth tailback, and that guy was on one of their relays to went to state, the fourth string tailback. So they got real good depth. And then Grady, again, another much improved team, had a tremendous track season. I'm a firm believer that that's the builder of it all, and they competed extremely well in track. So that's going to kind of carry over. So, I think that the two that about, that everybody knows about, is going to be really tough. But I think the two other teams, Sands and Grady, are going to be teams that are you definitely can't sleep on them. That obviously, I think if they're in different districts, they probably are teams that make the playoffs. So I think there's 5 teams in here that in a lot of districts could make the playoffs. So unfortunately, only 2 of those are going to make it. And hopefully we can figure out a way to get that done.
And talk about your goals for this year, Coach.
Well, obviously, first and foremost, it's the one we always talk about, is trying to win a district championship. And we won 14 of them in a row, and then all of a sudden, I think sometimes you take it for granted. Obviously, there's been years that maybe we weren't as good as we were this year, but won a district championship because the district might not have been better than what it was this past year. It felt like we were a good team, just never got healthy, and never had the team I thought we were going to have. Had some guys that didn't come out that we were kind of banking on. So, hopefully we get everybody out that we're expecting, and we can try to find a way. You don't want to be second, but you do want to get in. Our goal is to get in the playoffs, but the first one is always to win a district championship. If you win a district championship, obviously it lines you up a little bit better. They're, the district we match up with, that second place team's going to be really solid this year too. So it's not a guarantee, but you feel like you go into it as a favorite. And if you can, we talk about it all the time, you get in the tournament, you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. And at our game, it takes one injury or one guy getting back to change the picture and what your team really is, just by one human stepping foot or having to step off the field.
Well, Coach, you do a great job out there, and I know you made it look easy. I know it wasn't winning all those 14 district championships, but I know you'll have your kids working hard trying to get back to the playoffs this year.
Well, we've got some great kids, and that's something that we always, there's a reason why this is going into year 31 for me. It's been a great place for my 4 kids. It's been a great place for my wife and myself. We've got some great friends here, but the kids that you coach, it just makes it easy to get up and come to work. And we've worked for some great administrators. So we've been blessed, but hopefully we can find a way to get this thing going. Like I said, we've got a great senior group. I feel like we've got some young guys that can step in, may not be early. We're going to get to have a JV schedule, I believe, unless something happens between our conversation and when this thing kicks off, but which is valuable. We hadn't been able to really have a true JV last couple of years, and that hurts your program when you can't get all those kids out. So hopefully we can get this thing rolling again. I know Coach Edwards will do a great job on the defensive side of the ball, and we're just looking forward to it.